Hello, I'm Toycat, and this right here is an end portal with 6 of the 12 frames filled by IF Enders, and this is something that actually spawned naturally on the seed. That's right, half of the end portal frames filled naturally with IF Enders is something you can find on this seed, and was something that was found for the very first time by Finn Sawyer, and I wanted to show you this seed. It's not just the fact that this is right below an abandoned village, which is a unique and incredible thing to a lot of people, it's the fact that this comes on a seed with a lot of other goodies that I want to show you and talk about in today's video. So hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to Seed Sunday, the weekly series where I show you seeds for Minecraft which are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And this week's seed is definitely that, because it has some of the best terrain both to spawn on, as you can see right here in the spawn area. It's great, it's got a nice mixture of biomes, but it has so many great building areas across the seed. It has so many wonderful pieces of naturally generated terrain and structures, as well as having half of its end portal pre-filled in, and that's just the start of what is going to be a great Seed Sunday, let me tell you. But let's dive straight into it, and let's start by talking about the spawn area. It's a plains area, which, as you can see, gives you great access to any naturally spawning Minecraft mob, whether it be the horse, as you can see over there, whether it be the pig, the cow, the chicken, anything you want, you're going to find right here, as well as flowers, as well as seeds, as well as trees, all the goodies, and even direct access to caves, because a few of those do spawn right here. In fact, your spawn area is literally next to a cave. Like, literally, here is me showing the respawn point of the world, here is me showing the distance to a cave. I mean, it takes you a full 2.5 seconds to get there. It's a long journey, but you can get yourself directly down to the coal, directly down to the iron, and directly down to many other things, which is really cool and wonderful in my opinion, because again, this goes quite surprisingly deep for what you would expect. And it also does so in 2 separate branches, so you can go down this way as well if you really are feeling curious and you want to see 2 entirely different branches of the same cave. Guess what? Entirely possible. This one's much less interesting, but it does have iron ore, so 3 irons, 3 coal, really great start to a seed, but not necessarily so unique, right? But it's conceivable every 10th seed or so might spawn you in plains, and some of those are going to have caves. They're not necessarily amazingly rare features by themselves, but having access to lots and lots and lots of caves is great if you'd like to start your game really early on. But in case that's not your thing, let's talk about why the terrain is so great on this seed. The spawning area is a really nice mixture of plains, deserts, and savanna, which are all flat biomes, all of which will spawn animals in, all of which have easy access to, flattening it down even further if you want. Again, you can see just how flat this really is. There's only a few blocks of difference between the lowest blocks in the biome and the highest blocks, excluding the ravines and such forth, which, by the way, this is a very unique ravine, I'm sure it goes without saying. If not for the fact that it's covered mostly, besides this weird little hole section right here, then for the fact that it's a super deep mega, ravine that Minecraft Bedrock has a lot of, but it's a mega ravine which doesn't have a water or lava base, which is nice if you actually want to jump down here and start a mine down here. You can look like you've done a lot of work yourself if you worked along these lines, but also it's unique because for some reason it spawns with water next to lava without the 2 blocks, causing issues, and also with water which flows on top of lava until it pauses. This is unnatural. This will be broken the moment you break any of the blocks around it, but for now it's a really beautiful thing to spawn in with. Again, we break this gravel block right here, everything breaks and it all stops coexisting with each other, but it just goes to show how much the world should be messing up all over the place, but somehow, for some reason, was not. In fact, right here you can see it's still having water next to lava without any repercussions, because fun. How unique, right? If you look up above where the water and the lava actually stems from, you can see there's this little sub-cave within the main cave as well. If you go through here, you find some gold, which is kind of nice. You find some more gold, which is kind of nice. And most importantly, you find something which every seed needs to find at least one of at some point if you like mob spawner forms and stuff, and that is a mob spawner with the corresponding free chest. How beautiful, how nice. This is also access to a lot of caving space for iron, gold, lapis, etc. at this lair, which you'll be able to find very easily because it's a cave at Y19, which seems to expand on forever. There's even an enderman in my one. So yeah, if you want to find a lot of the basic ores in Minecraft, again, everything besides diamonds and emeralds pretty much are found right here, you can find those in huge quantities in a big gap found next to the spawn. Speaking of spawn, we're back here again just to show you another astounding fact about this seed, because as well as having, pretty good terrain and spawning near the right biomes, it also has within this distance to spawn, literally you can see it from spawn, you can get there within, just 30 seconds of walking, a desert village, which in fact spawns mostly inside of a plains, biome. This is really cool because you're going to get a mixture of two types of villagers. Again, it's a thing we really like on this channel. You'll find the desert villagers, which, match the desert village, but also in the parts that spawn in the plains biome, you'll find plains villagers just working in their desert houses. It's a fun contrast, it's a fun mixture, and it means that you're going to have mixed race villagers, which who doesn't like that? That's a wonderful addition to Minecraft that I'm sure we can all take advantage of. Also, this village has a blacksmith chest, and you know what blacksmith chest means? It means free loot. In this case, 6 apples and 2 gold ingots. However, because it's a pretty big village, it's not the only building in town which has a chest. As you can see right over here, there is their own little chest. It's a bunch of wheat and a few bits of bread and some cactus. You know what you can make with that? A cactus sandwich. You shouldn't. I hear cactus is actually quite tasty on the inside. There's a Polish store near me that sells a lot of cactus juice, but I've never been sure if I should trust cactus juice or not. Let me know, internet, try cactus juice or no. And if you like cactus juice, try a cactus sandwich found right over here in this village. Because as always, in Seed Sunday, we show the coordinates in the top left of the screen, or rather, Minecraft does that for us. Anyway, those are the things you can find in 2 directions of spawn. This area right here. Over there, you can find the huge ravine and a nice savanna biome. Over there, you can find a nice desert village, which is slightly inside a plains biome. But if we head in this direction, instead of either of those, we'll find ourselves nicely inside a desert. A desert which contains so many structures, it's almost too hard to list. It's like desert temple found right over there. And as with any other desert temple, you get 4 chests filled with random loot. How nice, how fun. But if we just head between, the 2 desert temples, just along this axis, you're going to see how, first of all, we head across a ravine, a huge desert ravine, at least in terms of length. It's very thin, which is kind of fun. But then you'll find yourself a second desert temple. Super nice to have 2 of those close to spawn. That's 8 random chests filled with loot. Wonderful, wonderful thing. But yeah, you can just keep heading this way and you find along the way to the stronghold just wonderful structure after wonderful structure. I mean, is an abandoned village a wonderful structure? I've argued no, because they are too common on Bedrock, but if you think they're unique, if you haven't found one yet, this is a particularly unique abandoned village because of the way it generates into the mountain. Again, just look at this structure. This is not a common thing, and it's a thing you totally can enjoy right here. If you head a little further into the desert, then you'll find yourself another desert temple. Again, there's an endless sea of these. You can even see in the distance over there that there is a 4th it's a desert temple in a reasonably sized desert. But then as well as that, you're going to find another desert village, and this village is a particularly interesting one because it does spawn, again, super, super long across, does spawn with another blacksmith, so another chest with the random loot, which is always nice, always appreciated, because it can contain obsidian, swords, armor, etc. It's just nice to pick up if you're going along the way here anyway, which I do recommend to get to the stronghold. And yeah, it's a bunch of free stuff if that's your thing. But if that's not your thing, if you think that, useful things to help out your Minecraft run are some form of cheating, which I think is totally valid. Like, it's a fair opinion to say that if you find a village, then it's fair game. But if you load up a seed just to get a bunch of villages and, the temples, that's not your favorite thing. You might see it as kind of cheapening the game. Just in case you feel like free loot from the game is a form of cheating, but you still like structures anyway, good news, we have the perfect structure for you. This is Minecraft's ultimate structure. Nothing yet beats it because it is the only way to find water in deserts. It is incredible for that reason. It looks stunning. It was designed by a build team, which to this day I have yet to see anyone match. The desert well is just a beautiful piece of Minecraft engineering, and there is one found on this seed. Again, it's the only way to find water in deserts. While you're in a desert biome, there is precisely no other way of finding water. There's just none of it. So water in the oasis of a desert, something you can't get in any other circumstance. It's really cool to see that we have some of that found right over here. But to stay focused on the path to the stronghold, something I really like is this extra plains biome you're going to find right over here. It's a plains biome that is pretty much abandoned in every way, besides this pillager outpost found in the middle of it. This means that you can contain the pillager outpost. It's actually surprisingly easy to do. You just have to surround the things with walls, and then they'll never be able to get anywhere close to you. You can contain the pillager outpost, use it as a source of free pillagers, which is arrows, as well as being crossbow loot, as well as being a way to get pillager raids going, which is really, really nice by that. Use this as a source of pillagers, use it as the one-time set of free loot you can find these guys, and then you can use this as like a central point for a really great place to build. And yeah, these pillagers are so effective at their job. This is such a great place to set up that it actually comes with not just one abandoned village nearby, but 2. Here is one of the most impressive abandoned villages I've ever seen, first of all. As you can see, it's an abandoned village which is huge, not really too useful because there's no villagers here. I would love to see, here's a fun project idea. Because this is such a great village that just happens to be abandoned, it'd be cool if you kept the cobwebs, kept the mossy cobblestone, but filled it again with villagers. You can do that either by taking the villagers that already exist. Yeah, also, it's got brown windscreen, which I think is a bit excessive. Like, you know what? Zombies can't turn the windows brown. I mean, I guess they can make them dirty, but that's not what they've really done right here. But yeah, it's filled with zombies. You could cure the zombies which already exist right here. That's one of the ideas. As you can see, all you have to do is give them a splash potion of weakness and a golden apple. It always sounds fake, so let's just go ahead and show that. As you can see, when you do both those things, they start turning back into a regular villager. You could turn this back into a normal village by going around with a bunch of these potions. Obviously, later in the game, once you had actually got them, go around with a bunch of these potions and start regenerating the villagers, or you could just move in your own villagers from another one. Which one of those two things you find easier is kind of up to you, but I love the idea of regenerating this village because it has such a stunning feature next to it. This is a mega ravine. This is clearly, a ravine wider than any ravine is meant to be. I think it's two that happen to coalesce together, but it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's stunning to look at, and as you can see, it actually branches off into a second direction down here, so, just in case you think that's super cool, because I definitely think it is. It's a really cool ravine, and it's really wonderful to look at, and you can do precisely that from your abandoned village. This abandoned village was clearly abandoned because the raid came round, but the the Pillager raid is so successful, it not only took down one village, but it actually took down two. If you go past this desert temple, found right over here, you can see how there is an abandoned village found right over here. And what's that? Is this abandoned village looking familiar? By the way, desert temple there. And what's that, you say? Is this abandoned village looking familiar? Yes, it's the one from earlier. There are two big abandoned villages, one of which is partially in a desert, which isn't actually too useful in my opinion. Like, oh yay, we get zombie villagers who are also covered in the things, but like, maybe you find that interesting. Maybe if you regenerate them, you'll get like a desert village and a plain villager, and you can make them start the world again. I don't know if that's your thing. It's up to you, I guess. But the other thing that's stunning right here about this, besides that, like, oh, it's a place above the stronghold, so you dig down below this, you'll find the stronghold. But first, I just need to mention, like, hey, near the stronghold, you see not only the nearby villages, the nearby iceberg biome, an iceberg biome which is surrounded entirely by, desert on two sides, by the way. So just saying, all you gotta do is keep on, littering on the ground and keep on, consuming things that use CO2, driving your cars or whatever, and this is gonna happen to the real world, which would actually be pretty cool. You know what? Can everyone just start polluting a little bit more so we can have global cooling? Sounds pretty good to me, because climate change is the actual term, because it makes the climate more extreme, not more hot, which is why global warming is a bad aim. But anyway, with that said, you can see how just over here, wow, what's that? Is there a desert temple? Wow, what's that? Is this desert somehow filled to the brim with desert temples? Why, yes. Yes, it is. And I'm going to prove that by saying that all within eyesight of me right now, there's a desert temple found over there, there's a desert temple found over there, there's a desert temple found over there, and there's a desert temple over there. This desert, the one just to the north off the, just to the more negative on the Z coordinates off the main one, is huge when it comes to desert temples, which is great if you love the free loot. And if you don't love the free loot, then heck yeah, 4 opportunities to try and redesign them into something brand new, right? It's a great seed for that. But let's go down into the stronghold now, shall we? I recommend digging down at these coordinates because you'll find yourself directly in the end portal room, where there is, as you can easily see, 6 IF enders. This is incredible, and it's something that almost seems fake. It almost seems like, oh, you just threw the IF enders in there, toy cat. And obviously, the only way you can prove for yourself this is real is to load up the seed yourself, which is why I showed it earlier on the video, and which is why it's actually been visible on the top of the screen this whole time. As you can see, S-60, etc, etc. But here is the seed right here. If you type that into a Minecraft Bedrock version of the game, any single one of them, beta, non-beta, PC, Xbox, any device we've tested so far does yield the same 6 IF ender result, which is incredible. It halves the effort required to go to the end dimension, which is incredible. Add on to that the fact that you can use the lava pools right here with just a few buckets of water, and you can make yourself a nether portal, something you can do in any stronghold portal room. Fun fact, even if you're not using this seed, a pro tip for life is you can use all the lava found here to go to the nether if you want to, using just a water bucket, because there's so much of it found right here for free. But when you do make a portal here, you don't just get an okay nether spawn, you get a great one. Look at this island you spawn on. It's really well protected from ghasts. It has a lot of magma because it's super low down, something you might appreciate, might be able to take advantage of. But most importantly, besides these great things, if you head this way, you'll find yourself a nether fortress in not too far a distance, because you're going to need nether fortress to get the blaze rods. Pro tip, or just a little thing I want to mention is the fact that right here we are playing in the 1.16 beta. If you play in a the current release version, you won't see this this warp forest right here. But what you will see is the fact that Minecraft interacts with this stronghold right here in really fascinating ways. Look at this, for instance. This is a stronghold which is surrounded in like the oddest ways by a warp forest, and yeah, it means that there are some warp forest bits which are underneath and around the stronghold. It's fascinating to me, at least. I love looking at it. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but either way, this is a really staggering blend that I'm sure you can't argue with too much. So in conclusion, this is a great seed, a seed which has 6 of its IF enders filled in. That's the thing that I find most unique. There are many other great things about it. The great blend of biomes is something I really love, and that's something I showed off in today's Seed Sunday. Something you're probably going to notice is that we do kind of shift focus on Seed Sunday from time to time. We go back and forth about what particular thing we're most interested in, and that's because this is kind of, Minecraft seeds come in an infinite number of varieties, but Seed Sunday is here to curate and show you the ones which I think are most interesting and indeed worth checking out in some way. And the reason I showed this one is because right now, seeds with a lot of IF enders is something I'd love to see. If you find a seed with 6 IF enders with a portal somewhere near spawn, or even better, if somehow you can beat 6, you can find 7 or 8, which right now, no one has done. This is the most on a single seed that has been found, especially on the closest stronghold. I would love to hear your seed. I would love to show it off on Seed Sunday, and please do get in touch if you have found a seed which has, 7 or above, IF enders on it, because that is something I would love to have exist in Minecraft Bedrock. Again, I would love to push forward this game in the community for things like speedrunning, for just any form of, getting things done faster, because in Minecraft Java, there's many more years, many more seeds found for many more different things, but I love to, close that gap. That's what I do here on Seed Sunday, and I hope it's something you've appreciated with this video. And again, if you have anything you'd like to bring in to contribute, please do let me know. That sounds like show and tell, but it's basically show and tell. In fact, that's what YouTube videos are, right? I show you things and I tell you about them. And I hope you enjoyed me showing you today's seed and telling you about it. If you did, you can like the video, you can favorite, or you can subscribe to see more of these daily on your homepage. Because next week, will we find desert wells? No one knows for sure. All I know is that this is the greatest structure in Minecraft, and I have been IBX Toycat. Thank you for watching Seed Sunday, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.